Morning, everyone. How are we going? Great. Awesome. I hope everyone's had an awesome fishy week. What have you guys been up to? Nothing. Same thing every week. Same thing we try and do every day. Take over the world.
Your awkward pauses are very short today.
Aren't they just?
You're not allowing us any time.
I'm trying to hand over.
soak in.
I'm trying to hand over to one of you two so I can go and knock on Nelson's door and see if he's awake, so he can get up north. So, Cam, tell us about your week.
I've literally done nothing related to fish this week at all. I think I've fed my fish. I think that's
you think you fed them? I mean,
yeah, I made some rapashi up over the weekend, so I fed them.
Nice.
I haven't even looked at them. Like, turned the lights on or anything.
Good start.
Yeah, it's been a good fish week.
I mean, it could have been more eventful.
Could have. I'm glad that it wasn't more eventful, but yeah. Yeah, I have not really done anything fish related this week. It's been a lot of other stuff going on. So, yeah. What about you?
And how's the new job working out?
A lot of hours, pretty full on. A lot of time not at home. Yeah.
So not good.
Fine.
Are you having fun? Are you enjoying it?
The work itself is fine, and I'm okay doing it, and there's no issues there. It's just overnight shifts are quite long. So yeah.
Do you get to sleep during those overnights?
Yeah, so it's like 16, 17-hour shifts, and you're allowed to sleep for normal sleeping type times.
So it's like a the only term I can use is the term I used to use when I was in the force, like a home, like living in situation.
Yeah, it's an in-home care for at-risk youth.
Yes.
Yeah. So, with them, there's someone with them 24 hours a day, basically. Help them out going through life and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, the overnight ones start at mid-afternoon and get you through to 7 or 8 in the morning.
Do you guys have to have security and stuff?
No, we are the security.
Don't mess with Cam.
No security. Yeah.
I guess it's probably a bit of an adjustment for you as well, going from being self-employed, setting your own hours, doing what you want when you want, to now being told to jump and saying how high.
Pretty much, yeah. And on top of that, it's like an adjustment for the family as well. For that same reason we've had. Where's Ryan gone now?
I'm the captain now.
You're the captain again. Yeah, again, being self-employed, set work around the hours that the home and the family needed. So now it's a little bit different to that. So it is what it is. It's only week 2, so we'll work into that fine in a few weeks' time. We just got to get there first.
Nice.
There he is.
Sorry, party people. My headphones went flat, and then I had to borrow some batteries off Nelson, and then in process of reconnecting, it disconnected. So
just out of curiosity, when you're driving along with the earmuffs on like that, do you lick the windows as well?
I lick the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the only things that had Bluetooth in them that I had available in the vehicle, considering I forgot we were doing this today. So it is what it is.
Yeah, are you doing a podcast or are you mowing the lawns?
Well, you can do both with these on, can't you?
I love your commitment to the cause.
The good thing about these is you look amazing and they're functional. So
Been the same fish time, the same fish channel for at least 52 weeks now, and you still forget.
Apart from the large period of time we just had off.
like the Christmas period of 3 weeks.
Is Nelson not going to give us a wave?
Nelson's just jumped in the car here. You can see Nelson. There you go.
Morning, Nelson.
He can't hear you, so but they say good morning. Yeah,
Tell him he looks like shit.
Nelson's a fish geek. Nelson's also not a morning person, and I pick him up early, and he hates it. So yeah. Cool. So you were just talking about how you stay at the loony bin overnight. Is that what you're saying?
It's not what I was saying, and nor was it what I was referring to. That's
I like how I tried to be PC and then he just railroads it.
Oh, was that the term that you used in the police? Was it?
No, not that bad. Jeez, we're not assholes.
I didn't realise that they had. I mean, do you have some sort of? Obviously, you have some sort of facility down there in Nelson for the children that have nowhere to go. Is that what it is? Or the children that have been kicked out of home, or that are having dramas? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I can't talk too much into it, but essentially kind of like that.
Oh, that's cool. And is it manned 24/7? I guess.
Yeah.
As such.
Yeah.
And everyone down there takes turns at going there during the day and during the night.
Well, it's multiple places, but yeah.
No.
Rostered on with a
Cool.
with a kid for a period of time and do stuff.
And have you started selling the benefits of them having an aquarium in these facilities yet?
Not yet.
Because that is going to have a calming effect, and it's going to give these children some purpose and a passion, something to get into.
Not yet, no. And I believe facility. I believe the word is home.
Home. Okay.
Yep.
Well, then every home should have an aquarium.
Yeah.
And done.
One of them's got a pond. That's a start.
Yeah. Do you mean a pond or a moat going around the outside?
I wish. A pond with fish.
Oh.
Wow.
A moat with crocodiles.
It's got a fish and everything in it.
A fish.
At least one, but I think there's more.
There usually is.
Yeah.
He's trying to play it. He's trying to play it down, but he doesn't actually give the kids any attention. He just sits out by the pond all day.
I do not.
Smoking a durry.
I don't.
Smoking a durry, sucking back on a dart, watching the fish in the pond.
If only.
What about you, Matt? What have you been up to? Nothing?
No.
No.
I've
you've been setting up tanks and stuff. Oh, you've been sending me photos, and then your gold heads bred and shit, didn't they?
Yeah, the gold heads bred, and then she's eaten like all bar like 5 eggs. But that was cool. Literally put them in a new tank that like I've set up specifically for them. And then they bred. I don't know whether or not it was the cave being too small and the male not being able to really get in properly, or I don't know what the deal is, but the eggs don't look the best, so I imagine when I check on them today they'll all be gone. So that was cool. I rescaped a tank for a family member because they wanted change already. And then I got a really good deal on a 400 litre tank, so I went and picked that up and set it up for myself.
Did you rescape the tank you did over Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
And tell me, has this family member even seen the tank in person yet?
No.
And he's still getting you to rescape it already?
Yeah.
And he hasn't even seen it?
Yeah.
Like you must have done a shit job the first time.
Well, to be fair, I did leave it kind of bare so that I knew that I would have to do something, so I left it more bare than anything, and then just yeah. Anyway,
And as it so happened, you ended up with a tank full of fancy rocks, so you could put some of them in there, right?
I did. So that family member purchased them at a really good rate, and they now have those fancy rocks in their
Fancy
tank.
rocks. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
How much did they pay for the fancy rocks?
I think I worked it out like $4 a kilo.
That's not terrible.
No. So yeah, they got that set up. I got my other tank set up. It was one of those deals where it came with certain items and I could make the money back, which I've done already. So yay for free tank. But the person had to sell quickly as they were moving. The only thing that I'm left with
FX5, it came with the FX6 or FX5 or something, didn't it? FX6, right?
FX6, yeah.
Is that how you busted your wrist trying to lift the FX6?
Yeah, because this is brand new. I haven't had this for months.
He had to hire like some big strong movers to move the FX6 because it had water in it.
They're pretty heavy.
Yeah, never mind the actual tank itself.
Well, I mean, we all know from Young Cam that that's the worst thing about FX5s and FX6s is they're so heavy. So
Yeah.
They're way too heavy.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm left with out of the whole thing, apart from a bunch of shit that I'm just going to throw away, is sitting in my trailer, is 50 odd polar blue parrots.
Yeah.
But I have negotiated a deal on those, and I'll be dropping them off at some point this week.
Nice. Good buy to them.
That'll free up 3 tanks that they're taking up in my fish room.
It's crazy how well they sell, though.
Yeah, and the funny thing is like there's some really nice ones in there, like some really unique fin markings that I haven't seen on them before, which is quite cool. But I'm not going to waste my time trying to sell them when there's like down here there's people trying to sell them for like $3, $5 each.
They seem to be like the rats, they like the crabines or something of when they first came out they were all popular, then everyone got them and then everyone bred them and now they've crashed.
Yeah, so I got them when they first came into the country, and was able to get them breeding pretty quickly. And I think back then I was selling them to stores for like $25 a pop. What
was your tip to getting them to breed? Was it just adding water to them?
Adding water, yeah. You just added water and they breed.
Yeah. But when I say I got them to breed quickly, it was like more that no one else had them breeding yet.
Oh, right. Because they forgot the water?
What are they? They're a cross between a convict and a parrot, are they? Is that what they are?
Let's not go into that.
Line-bred fish. They're not hybrids. Yeah. So Nelson says they're line-bred fish, not hybrids.
Yeah. So some people think that they're line-bred. Some people think that they're hybrids. Some people think that they're naturally occurring. It's an argument you don't want to get into.
Something to do with a convict cross or something, like a parrot. You know. All parrots. Yeah. No. Well, Nelson says no, so there you go. So they're line bred from parrot?
No parrot at all.
No parrot at all. Okay. Right. Well, there you go. I've never kept them and I won't keep them because they seem dumb to me. So
until Matt give them to your house in 2 weeks' time.
I just had a really good idea, Cam.
Because you could scatter them several in each tank.
Yeah.
And then they'd spawn as well.
What is the temperament of said mongrel fish like?
I've seen one kill an Oscar.
Mongrel fish like your OBs you already have.
Yeah.
So OBs are cool. Polar parrots are not. That's just what it is. So they're not peaceful, friendly community fish.
They are, but they can be angry.
renege on your deal and make that happen. That is the best option ever. It's not the money that you've received for them is not worth the joy that it will bring you. Are they big enough to sex? Because if they are, you could really have it male, female.
Yeah, some of them are like this big. Like they're massive.
Do
Some
it.
of them.
Do it. That'd make my day. That'd be a wedding present to me as well.
Polar blue parrots appearing for the wedding present. Can you imagine that on the gifts table? Just like 40 bags of polar blue parrots sitting there.
Fuck off! I'm not wasting 38 bags.
Or just buckets, just the big mitre 10 buckets sitting on this fancy table. Oh god, it'd be even worse if like Kim, who pretty much doesn't like fish, saw them and loved them and then wanted to set up a display tank of them in my house.
Well, that's more what
That would be even worse.
That's more what this retailer's doing. They have a display and most of them are going into their display tank, and then they'll sell some of the smaller ones.
Yeah, we all know if you get a nice display tank, it helps you sell fish.
Jodie's done good to remember you this time, Ryan, but she has forgotten Nelson.
Oh, yeah. Well, Nelson, to be fair, Nelson can't hear anything, so he's kind of useless.
He's kind of useless, or he is useless?
What's that? He's useless? He's useless to us on the podcast, but he's not useless in general.
What else have I done? There was something else I was going to say. Nah, nothing. I see there's been potential talks of a large number of Africans coming back with me after the wedding.
Yeah, I've got a bunch that I. From a what?
A 6-fingered chap in Masterton.
I don't even know what you're talking about now.
Mr. Day.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't realise he lived in Masterton. I thought he lived in Wellington. But anyway.
No, Masterton.
Same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
The whole North Island is pretty much the same thing. Everything's in like half an hour's drive away anyway.
Anything below the Bombays doesn't exist.
Yeah, you're right. It's pretty much
the North Island is pretty ancestral.
But yes, so after the wedding, there will be plenty of buckets in my truck, I am sure.
Yeah. I don't know what Mr. Day wants yet. He has asked me for a list and I haven't sent it to him, so that's probably why I don't know what he wants yet, because he doesn't know what I've got. So, yeah.
See that Bay? Far away. Sorry, I thought you were saying something irrelevant.
Bay Aquatics have got their quarantine facility up and running.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask a little bit about this because, like, how do you? So obviously they've built a room. Fucking bugs. They've built a room to be able to quarantine fish and stuff. And then what they now have, I have seen it.
I've been in it. And I've seen it. So I know it's there. I've seen it. Yep. It's a nice room. They're running out of shipping containers within a room.
And then so they have, I take it, access to overseas exporters.
Yeah, they just go on like Temu for fish, and they just order something, and then it just comes in, and NZ Post drops it off, and I mean, it's not that simple, but yeah, they essentially order them, ship them, and then quarantine them. So, that's it.
So now the question that I have around it is, someone told me a long time ago, like, if you ever want to get anything in via an importer, you're going to have to order hundreds of it and like outlay a shitload of money. Is that the case, or can they order like
I-
50 neon tetras or something?
They'll have
I don't know
MOQ.
much. I don't know much about it, but with the lists that I've seen, when I went down there and had a look at the room, he showed me some suppliers lists, and they did have MOQ on them, and it was proportionate to the size of the fish in the African cichlids. You know what I mean? Like, so there might be fish at 10 centimeters, and the MOQ was like 30 fish, and if they were the same fish were at 2 centimeters, the MOQ was like 200 fish. You know. So obviously,
Are there cool Africans on that list?
the list he showed me was all Africans, and it was probably 50 sheets of paper, double-sided, printed tiny writing.
Is that double check
so,
on
yeah.
what's allowed in, right?
Do we need to spend some money?
Yeah, there could be some money spent. There could be some discussions on what's allowed in as well, because the list is interesting. For
The list will be
African cichlids
general,
as such.
right? It'll be a general list rather than what's allowed in your country list.
Yeah.
And it's a very specific list. It's like, you know, there's 100 different Stuart Grantee from 20 different locations, you know, different sizes, different collection locations, males, females, whatever, you know, like it's very specific, these lists that I've seen. They're probably from the more high-end, more specialist exporters rather than the generic, it's a red peacock out of Asia exporters, sorry. So, yeah.
Oh, let's talk more on this off podcast.
I'm sure we could probably convince Tom to get on sometime and tell us all about it once I've done some imports.
That'd be cool. What about you, Ryan? What have you done in your fishy week this week?
I got some new fish, but new fish that I already kind of had, but didn't kind of already have. So maybe a month ago, I thought, shit, I wonder what that guy's up to. I've seen him selling some stuff on TradeMe, and I've known him for like 15 years or something. He's kept fish for ages, so I just sent a text to the random number that I still had for him. And it's still his number, and he said, and then he rang me and he said, I'm glad you text because I didn't know you were still keeping fish, and I'm looking at moving overseas, and I still have 4 or 5 colonies of stuff that's not in the country anymore. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So he came out and saw me and dropped off a colony of otter points for me. I already had otter points, but I'd lost my male, and these ones are a slightly different strain. So he dropped them off and some males for me to be males that he had of some Frieri strain that I don't have. And yeah, we caught up and yeah, got some different fish. So it's cool.
Is that
and might get some other ones off him if he leaves. The what?
Is that the redfin Frieri?
Yeah.
The redfin?
Yes. Yeah, I got some males of those. I haven't got any females yet. And then a whole big colony of otter points.
And hopefully we can find something for me out of his list, right?
Potentially. Shaking the magic 8 ball and it says possible.
Cool. What else?
That's about the highlight of my week for fish, to be honest.
What's the low light then?
No, there's no low light. There's no highlight. It's all good. It's all good.
What's Nelson's highlight of his fish week?
Has he finished his outdoor pond thing yet?
Cool. Good chat.
I appreciate that.
Hang on. I'll put Nelson on if you want to talk to him. Here you go. What's up?
Good morning, Nelson. Welcome
Hello.
to the Three Idiots podcast.
Oh, hello, how are we?
Yeah, good. What's been the highlight? Or what have you been up to in your fishy week this week?
What have I been up
You've
to?
been setting up a tank, haven't you?
I have. I've been setting up a tank to breed some bucktooth tetras.
Cool.
So I've gone with the old marble method, and I've just done marbles on the full on the bottom of the tank. And I've got a couple of just rubbish plants hanging around in the corner, so they can sort of do their business on there, and it will fall through, and hopefully I can harvest some eggs.
Now, you haven't used Ryan's marbles, have you? Seen as he now doesn't have them, that he's getting married?
It's cutting up.
Yeah, we'll do.
That's a shame. Cam was asking if you've finished your pond.
Nah, not yet. Nah. I wish. Thanks,
That
Cam.
sounds like it might be a
Loves us,
never situation.
Yeah,
Is it
it's
getting
looking that way.
close or not close?
Yeah, it's getting close. I'm just it's just a lot more expensive than I thought it was going to be. Get in there.
Cool.
Yeah, looking at it.
And do you have a
Yeah,
low light
we're
of the
ready
week?
to do fiberglass.
Cool.
I had a tank crack. A couple of days ago. That was fun. Just a Blue Planet
How many-
150. So that's
Okay. Yeah, could have been worse.
could have been worse. It was only guppies, so only the feeders.
Fair enough. So I suppose we should get an update from Cam on the Never Never situation.
I've had a lot of external stuff going on this week, so it hasn't even been looked at.
So the Never Never is still Never Never.
There's been far more significant things going on to worry about.
Fair
You'll
enough.
suck. Maps are telling
I'm
me
picking
that
up what
police
you're putting down, and I'm
police
not.
have been reported. Police have been reported
And
ahead.
I'm-
Gotta watch out. Oh, there they are.
What?
These Matt's buddies.
Fuck, he talks some shit sometimes, eh?
God.
Sorry. Anyway, my map just flashed up and said police reported ahead, and I was just telling you that your friends were on the side of the road.
What?
Cool story, man. Cool story.
Random question.
No, hang on. We've got to do Cam and the Never Never. How's your Never Never going, Cam? What's the list?
Fuck's sakes.
I've had more important stuff going on to worry about it.
So it's still the Never Never, and you haven't even done anything with it, which is what we
So I've
predicted.
had more important things going on. So just as I was looking up at the garage, questioning my life choices about what you were talking about, I found this. So yeah, that was cool.
Now, what you obviously missed me asking Cam those questions, so
Can we?
I don't
vote for a new host and get rid of Ryan? Like, this is fucking ridiculous.
I don't think Cam wants to talk about it, Ryan. So I'll leave the ball in your court as to whether or not you keep probing or we give him the respect that he wants and not ask any more questions.
About the Never Never.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we all know that he's just put them in a dark cave and he's never going to do anything with them. We just want to go and shit for it. But we do need to know how many are in there so we can actually track the Never Never and how it's going. All right?
If you were paying attention and you were listening and actually being any part of the show properly, you would have heard me say, I've had more significant things going on this week, and I've had no time to do anything to do with it.
I understand because I completely forgot about the podcast today, so I'll let that slide this week. But next week we need a tally from you, all right?
Only if you actually turn up for the show.
Although this next week is your schedule going to allow us to actually do it this
I don't
time?
know. I haven't looked at it yet.
So see me for being useless, and you don't even know if you can do next week.
Let me look.
It's a bit ironic. It's a little bit ironic. I like that. Funny.
So we have a topic today.
Yeah.
We do.
I don't have a random question because I'm driving. So unless you guys have got one, we're not going to ask it.
I don't have one.
Yep, I'm good next week.
Cool. Sweet. So next week, same place, same time. Cam's going to have a tally on the Never Never.
Well, you might be in a different place because who fucking knows what you're doing.
I might be working, yeah, potentially. Sometimes got to pay the bills, bro.
I find you always have to pay the bills. I find that sometimes paying the bills.
It's because you voted for Luxon, and we all know that Luxon says that he's got bills he's got to pay. And one of the most cringiest political things that any New Zealand politician's ever done.
Nah, he didn't pull a ponytail.
I don't know, bringing up their Spotify playlist and playing I Got Bills and trying to sing along to it while he was being interviewed, that's fucking right up there for being cringy.
Like, it was...
And not singing it in time and clearly not knowing the words.
It was a political masterclass.
Well, it obviously works because everyone loves him and voted him in.
This is not a political conversation, and arguably nobody loves him.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
I think like I think that like 60% loves them.
Recent
I don't know if 60%
don't love him.
I don't know if they loved him or just didn't love the opposition.
I think that's more.
There is a difference. There is a difference.
Yeah.
And they're not governing alone, so it clearly wasn't 60%.
Yeah, that's our stupid system for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit broken. Oh, anyway. Plants and African cichlids. They generally like to eat them, so they're a great combo. It's a good feeding thing. And that's about it.
Do we not have a random question?
Fuck, now you're not listening.
I thought you were organising one.
Oh, okay, I'll organise it.
Because you said random question because Ryan's away in fucking God knows where.
That's right, I'm the captain now.
And you're the captain now. We've actually completely just dethroned Ryan.
Wasn't hard.
No.
I'm not really putting up a fight.
Matt's got big dick energy and he's the captain now.
He can sit on the Game of Thrones. On the Iron Throne. The Iron Throne, he can sit on the Iron Throne. There you go. Doesn't look very comfortable anyway. Fucking Iron Throne.
We've overthrown Cam, we've overthrown Ryan.
The question is
Cam
for Ryan.
That's true.
Ryan?
Yeah?
Would you rather have tongues for toes?
Tongues for toes?
Yeah, or be a matter baby?
Be a what?
Be a what?
A matter baby.
What the hell's a matter baby?
Nothing, sugar. What's the matter with you?
Do you just intentionally throw in a bad joke?
Anyway.
That was, if you want to do Would You Rathers, but, we could, but I don't think one's really
No.
family appropriate, so I won't do that one.
All right, question number 69.
Nice.
Where was the most embarrassing place you've farted?
Oh, I've farted so many places that it's not even
Yeah.
embarrassing anymore. I quite enjoy
Yeah.
it, actually.
Farts
Especially
are funny
farting in
and all good.
elevators. I cleared the dance floor at my sister's wedding. That was fun. I didn't care because it just gave me more move to more room to do my moves, you know.
Cut some shapes.
Well, it wasn't embarrassing, but I cleared a indoor cricket centre. That was pretty
The
bad.
whole centre.
Oh, the whole centre. We were training. It was literally like an atomic bomb. You very literally were walking through it and like gasping. It was really, really good quality. That was. That was a good time.
Nice skills.
Yeah.
And you?
Not me, but my papa was once at like a big family gathering out at a restaurant, and he just stood up, ripped out a massive fart, and sat back down and kept on eating. And like the whole restaurant turned around and looked at him. I've always wanted to do that, just kept on eating.
I gave my 6-year-old nephew a whoopee cushion and then proceeded to convince him to take it out to brunch with his very proper grandparents and just sit there and sit on it the whole time in a cafe. That was quite funny. And him and I just sat on this whoopee cushion while everyone else was trying to eat their food. until I really slammed it and popped it.
Farts will always be funny. They never won't be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What about you, Matt? Any good fart stories?
Most embarrassing would have been like on a date like situation in the spa.
You had a date with someone in the spa? That sounds like something a little bit different to a date. Was that a paid date? Did you pay for it?
No, ended up in the spa later on.
Yeah.
One of those where you know it's coming, you try and hold it in. Couldn't hold it in. I'd eaten too much garlic at dinner.
Did you try and cough to cover it up and make it worse?
No, I turned the air bubbles on, and that just made the situation worse.
Yeah.
Because one, you had the heat from the water, and it kind of was just sitting on top of the water, and then the bubbles just started really like invigorating it into the air.
Kind of like when you fart in the shower, it makes it worse.
Oh yeah.
Did you fart? Yeah. Did you ever fart while you were arresting anyone?
Probably.
Like you're reading them their rights or something, and then you just let run rip while you're trying to be serious.
No.
That's funny.
I'd always try and fart when we were on parade. Like you're standing there at attention with like rifles and all your fancy gear, and you just have to stand still for like half an hour or an hour. I'd always try and fart then, just see if I could piss anyone off or make anyone laugh while they're on parade. That was quite a good one.
The problem is like
or dishonorable discharge.
What's that?
Did you get an honourable or dishonourable discharge?
I left of my own accord.
Under advisement.
Yeah. Had plenty of opportunities to do that earlier in my career, and they didn't. So you know.
My problem with that, and I did try it while on parade, is that if someone else starts laughing next to me, I'll start laughing. So I can't really get away with it. It kind of would shoot myself in the foot at the same time.
It was quite interesting on long parades. Some people would faint because they stood still for so long, and it's really interesting when they got bayonets on the front of their guns too, and the bayonets start flying around everywhere, and people are fainting all over the place, and the medics are running up and picking people up off the ground.
No shit, can people faint from standing still for so long?
Well,
Yeah.
like often on your parades, you'd do one for like some dignitary. Like I did a couple for Prince Charles and things like that when they came to the country, and they're usually 2 hours late. So you're standing there for 2 hours in the stinking hot sun, and you can't move, and you just got to wait for them.
Even
they're late.
thinking back to my high school days, we used to do an Anzac service every year, and so you had 1,500 people packed into this hall, and you'd be standing as they read out all the names of the students who were killed in the war, and it went on for quite some time. And every year there'd be kids fainting. I remember one. He was in the very front row, and as he fainted, he smacked his head on like the edge of the stage on the way down.
No shit.
Lost his front 4 teeth.
Wow. Clearly a time before ACC or anyone actually gave a shit about child rights.
Children have rights.
Well, that kid definitely like showed respect to those that had gone before him with his teeth.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, the topic: African cichlids and plants is the actual topic. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So basically, this topic, the in-depth discussion that I thought we could have around it is that basically don't do it. Topic done.
Well, I set up that display tank in the real estate office, and the plants have gone freaking mad, and it's got Bamboona in it. And I don't know how, but the Ambullia's gone crazy, and they don't eat it. The yellows and the Mapanga don't touch it, and it's cool when it's planted and. I just died, I think. No, I came back. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, that's my story about planted tanks, and all my fry tanks have got plants in them.
Yeah, all of my fry tanks, I have plants, but that's more about managing water chemistry than anything else.
And the fry don't seem to eat them.
No.
To go on?
Put a hive of and Anubis into my Tropheus tank, and they ate it.
Can you just mute him? Or boot him? Yeah, that's better. No, typically speaking, it doesn't work out very well. They tend to eat the plants, and if they don't eat them, then they at least rip them out because they don't like them in their environment. Have you had any success? Like you've got that big Frontosa tank. Do you have any plants or anything?
No, there's no plants in there. I've seen Frontosa and stuff with Java fern and Anubias. Apparently, the taste of Anubias isn't the flashiest of fish, so it seems to be one that works okay. I've always found that people that mix the two, the plants seem to get neglected and not like they're in there, but they're not of full health, if that makes sense. Like you think of a planted tank that's like they're growing nicely, but they always seem to get kind of ripped a little bit, short of potassium, begin yellowing, or get lots of algae and stuff on them. Like the balance is never made between a proper planted tank and a African cichlid tank for the vast majority of the time.
Do we think that part of the reason for that is that if you're doing an African tank properly, your water's going to be very hard, high pH, that sort of thing, and that's not really the best environment for the plants anyway?
There'll be a contributor to that, but I think like some plants will be fine with that hard water and high pH. I think it's a case of people not actually trying to get the plants to grow. They're just there as a subsidiary of it.
Ryan, you're back.
I'm back and better than ever.
Just while you're here, I don't want to pronounce the name because I'll say it wrong, but apparently you know how to pronounce someone's name.
Prashant. We met Prashant and Vishal. It's Vishal. It's like Michelle, but with a V.
Okay.
Vishal.
We'll get
Okay.
some feedback as to whether or not you've done that right.
Now we know.
Yeah, we had a big discussion about it afterwards. I was like, what?
Did you apologize for pronouncing the name wrong?
I felt bad. But I mean, I can't even pronounce my own name or the street I live in properly. So it's like, you know.
You feeling bad would admit that you actually care about other people's feelings, so I don't actually think that's true.
Of course I do.
Sure.
Just not you.
Sure.
But yes, what I've found with plants and African cichlids is if you put a whole bunch of plants that aren't used to growing in hard water in an African cichlid tank, they tend to like die and the fish start smashing them at the same time. So I think you should probably try and get them growing in hard water, hard alkaline water first, and then put them in. Is my theory.
How'd you get on with your Tropheus in your Valscenario tank? Did they mow it down?
Oh, they ate it all. Yeah. But I chucked them in from a tank that was soft acidic water, CO2, high light, into the wrong environment. They just died. And got eaten.
Yeah, but Val liked my water, so that's on you.
Okay. I accept that.
So what you're saying is that if someone wanted to keep plants with Africans, they should focus on growing them first and then bringing them into the tank environment.
That is my theory.
And how do they get around the fact that they will just rip them out?
Well, they're hoping that they get established before they rip them out.
Would a better theory be set up a tank with your plants, get your plants going, and then put your Africans in it?
Oh, that's a good idea. Also, you can use Anubis and Java fern and stuff and just tie it onto stuff or glue it onto stuff so they can't rip it off.
Is there any plant that would work without tying it down, gluing it down? Moss?
I think you're in for a shit
Moss.
show if you're going to use moss.
Pardon?
I think you'd be in for a shit show if you're going to use moss.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just don't do it. Like, it's never... In the early days, I used to try and do it. It never worked for me. Now I just don't bother.
I just think it's a case of the balance points are too far apart to make it work. And the fish always seem fine, but the plants never seem right. Like the plants are always the ones that get neglected. No one seems to focus on growing the plants and keeping the fish in there with the plants.
They just want the aesthetic of keeping the plants, but not the maintenance of it.
Or the work, yeah. That's what I think, at least.
Cool.
I had someone that knew about plants come out to my fish room and look at the plants that are growing in my fry tanks and just laugh because they couldn't idea what type of Anubis they were. They were so stunted and so not fertilized or in good light and stuff because my nitrates are so low because of the water change system. There's like, you need to fertilize these bloody things. And I was like, nope, they just grow what they're growing. So yeah. I think that's probably the thing. If you want to keep plants, you've got to actually put some effort into keeping the plants as well. And then the fish are still probably going to fuck them up and eat them, drop them out.
Because there's a big difference between having a planted tank and having a planted tank, or having plants having a planted tank.
Yeah.
And it probably goes for all sorts of aquariums, not just Africans. Like if you want to have plants, you've got to do them properly.
Yeah. I agree.
So have you put plants in with, I mean, I've seen some cool planted African cichlid tanks. Like Frank's got a video of his cool frontosa tank full of them that looks real awesome. That's mainly Java fern, I think, and Anubias.
If you look at that video to how he does his planted tanks now, right? I'm sure he'll look back and go, man, those plants are in bad condition because they weren't, looked after properly. He was just sticking plants in a tank. To how he grows them now.
Yeah, but they were green and they were growing.
Yeah, but they were covered in algae and were looking like shit. No disrespect to Frank, and I've looked at that tank many times, and I absolutely idolise that tank. I think it is absolutely incredible. A beautiful tank, it's a beautiful fish, and but like it's kind of on that same theory of I want to keep plants with African cichlids, but you just put plants in there and kind of let them do the thing, compared to actually growing the plant intentionally. Kind of like your spins in Nubia.
See, I tried to, I saw this real cool planted Tropheus tank that I saw online and that was what I was trying to replicate. And they used Val, but the Tropheus, it was basically just growing so fast that the Tropheus were mowing it into a lawn. So it couldn't grow long. It was like a carpet of munched Valsinaria. So it wasn't heavy, healthy Valsinaria. It was kind of living Valsinaria that was getting mown by the Tropheus. It looked really cool.
Yeah.
But I could not replicate it because I think I'd need to start with like 1,000 Valsinaria and plant them and hope that half of them got sort of rooted and started growing before they all got ripped out and eaten. If you put like the 10 plants in that I put in, it's just not enough.
Good theory.
That's my theory.
I like it.
So maybe I've got to get some plants and grow them intentionally in the fish room until I've got 1,000 of them and put them in my tank, and then let them all get eaten. That'll suck.
We can put them with the polar blue parrots.
I don't have any, and I won't have any.
Yes, you will. It's going to be amazing.
It's not going to be amazing. It's going to be shit. All right. Well, do you guys have anything more to offer on plants and African cichlids?
No, sir.
Do you know anything about plants and African cichlids, Nelson? Nah, he's shaking his head. He's got tangs, and they're a little bit different. And we could segue into that because you can have nice planted sort of shelly tanks. That'd be cool.
It would be cool. They would be cool.
I struggle to even grow the pothos and stuff out of the tank sometimes because they bloody nibble on all the roots and kill them. Or just don't necessarily kill them, but just stop them from doing anything. Growing.
Just nip at it,
But it's kind of there. They don't really grow.
Yeah, plants don't get a chance to do the thing.
No. But some of them are okay. I just have to move them around the tank until I find a tank where the fish don't eat them.
Have you noticed different species will nibble more than others?
Well, I thought I had.
Or do you just move them until one lasts and you don't really worry about it after that?
Pretty much. Initially I started putting them in the tanks with the peacocks and the haps because I thought, well, they're not really plant eaters. But then some of them were still destroying the roots and some weren't. So I haven't really gone about it in any scientific way, just kind of that's not doing very well there. There's almost no roots on it. I'll move it over here.
Yeah.
And then, a couple of weeks later, there's lots of nice white roots and it's growing well. I'm like, oh, okay, it's happy there. We'll leave it alone.
Cool.
So that's my theory.
I like it. It'll work. It works. Kind of.
I do have a bunch growing out of my shelly tanks, which look quite cool. They're getting that nice, the root structure, the root cover at the top of the tank, which I think looks pretty good.
Yeah.
They're also by the door, which gets lots of light over summer because I leave the door open so it doesn't get too hot. So that probably helps as well.
Loves natural sunlight. Goes crazy on it.
Yeah.
It's like a
that.
cheek tip.
Yeah. But it seems to grow anywhere, just not well.
Yeah. I hear you.
Cool. All right. Well, I've just pulled up in front of my favourite South African shop, and we're going to get some biltong and stuff for the day. So I'll love you and leave you.
All right then, Ryan.
You guys can do the outro and talk about our subject for next week.
Fuck, he's useless, eh?
He really is. He really, really is. If anyone actually would like to become a host of the 3 Let's Talk Grams podcast, we're more than happy to remove Ryan. Please just send us an email. Don't even send us an email. Just fucking send me or Matt a message, and we won't send Ryan the link ever again, and we will add you, and you can become a host because fuck him.
Also, we were going to put a post up last week to get Cam back for a cameo. Did we put that up?
No, nothing happened. Too much other stuff going on.
Maybe I can do that now.
Do that. Get that sorted.
Oh, no, I can't.
Why not?
Oh, no, maybe I can. Can I? Create post. I have to go into the Meta Business Suite.
All right, let's pull a pin on this and go from something next week. Hopefully,
What's our
Ryan.
topic next week?
I don't know. You
Okay.
say it now, make it up, and we'll go from there.
Why Ryan's a shit host.
Done. We can make that work. That's our topic for next week.
Sweet.
Okay.
All right. Cheers, fam. Bye.
Cheers, mate.